Now this guy John Schrank, what's that? What'd you say? This guy John Schrank was interesting. He said, I don't want to kill the citizen Roosevelt. I just want to kill Roosevelt, the third termer. So what does that tell you about his intentions? He didn't want to kill Roosevelt, the citizen, but he wanted to kill Roosevelt, the third termer.
So he wanted to make it so Roosevelt.
Kind of, yeah. He wasn't, if he'd have stayed a citizen, he wouldn't have been worried about it, right? But he wasn't going to want, he didn't want to be, like you said, a third termer, so he's going to kill him, so he wouldn't be a third termer.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, well, he was kind of crazy because he also said it was the ghost of William McKinley that told him to do it. True story. So he tells everybody the ghost of William McKinley told him to kill
So
Roosevelt.
he'll probably figure this out.
Well, after the assassination attempt, you think I'm ignoring you, but I'm not. After the assassination attempt, doctors examined Schrank, and it was reported that he was suffering from insane delusions, grandiose in character. So he was committed to the Central State Hospital for the Criminally Insane in Wisconsin. He'd right on, wouldn't he? Okay, so after the assassination attempt, doctors examined Schrank, told him, reported basically that he was suffering from insane delusions that were grandiose in character, means they were big in character, that he was crazy. And they committed him to the Central State Hospital for the Criminally Insane, which was in Wisconsin. And he lived there for 29 years until he died in 1943 of pneumonia. Interesting story. Yes, Will?
What did you say? I didn't want to know what the citizen.
He wanted to kill Roosevelt, the third term. In other words, he didn't want him to win a third term. So he did get both put into a mental institution in Wisconsin, and he lived there for 29 years and finally died in 1943 of pneumonia. Well, you wouldn't see this today. Both President Taft and Democratic nominee Wilson suspend their campaigning until Roosevelt can recover and begin to campaign himself. You would never see that today. But they did. That's kind of interesting. So both President Taft and the Democratic candidate Woodrow Wilson quit campaigning, waited for Roosevelt to get well enough to campaign, and then they all three started up again. Well, who's the advantage in this election? What party split? Yeah, you're right. What party split? Republicans. You got some of the Republicans supporting the Bull Moose Party and some of the Republicans supporting Taft. Okay? The Socialist Party isn't even in the ball game, so because of the split in the Republican vote, the Democratic candidate, Woodrow Wilson, cruises to victory and becomes the nation's 28th president. He's the last one here on the board. So we got Theodore Roosevelt, then we had William Howard Taft, and then we have Woodrow Wilson. You know that William Howard Taft and John F. Kennedy are the only two presidents of the United States buried in Arlington. Only two. Okay?
Buried in what?
At Arlington National Cemetery. Here's how bad it was for election. Taft, the sitting president, only had 8 electoral votes. Roosevelt only had 88, and Wilson had 435. That's what the split did. So you think about that's pretty unusual that a sitting president who's running for re-election only gets 8 electoral votes, and basically a two-term president, although it wasn't both his terms, a two-term president gets 88, and a guy that was serving as governor of New York gets 400.
What were the numbers
And
again?
35. 435 for Wilson, 88 for Roosevelt, and 8 for Taft. Well, after he lost the election of 1912, Roosevelt went on another trip. He went to Brazil with his son. And they went there to look for this so-called river of doubt. Okay, that was rumored that there was a river of doubt. Okay, it was supposed to be kind of like the abominable snowman or the Loch Ness monster or the Sasquatch. I mean, there were supposed rumors of this wonderful river of doubt, great paradise. So he and his son went to Brazil to look for the lost river of doubt. And basically it was an expedition like Survivor, you know what I mean? Well, they eventually found a tributary, and nobody knew if it was really to the River of Doubt. But he found a tributary, in other words, he found a small stream, which was named Rio Roosevelt. And it's still there in Brazil, Rio Roosevelt, but it never really led to any River of Doubt, okay? Now, how old is Roosevelt in 1913? He was born in 1858, 68, 78, 88, 98, 1908, 1918. So he's, 60-ish, right? Well, this trip was really hard on Roosevelt's health. And when he arrived back home to the United States, he was 55 pounds lighter than he was when he went. So he lost 55 pounds during this expedition looking for the River of Doubt. He also injured his leg trying to rescue a canoe when they were in one of the rivers. An infection set in on that leg. Now, where'd they do this barbaric surgery? When they got back to the United States? No, right there. No, they did it while he was in Brazil. This happened in Brazil, and he injured his leg trying to rescue a canoe. Infection set in, and so they did kind of a barbaric surgery in less than, I would say, sanitary conditions in Brazil, but he survived. Well, when he got back, he decided he wanted to run for president in 1960. He wanted to be the Republican nominee, but the party had long parted with him and he did not get the nomination. But he wanted to run in 1916, but it didn't happen. Well, suddenly on January 6th of 1919, he gets a blood clot in his heart and dies unexpectedly at the age of 60. So suddenly on January 6th of 1919, Theodore Roosevelt dies unexpectedly of a blood clot in the heart at the age of 60. Where was he buried? At his home at Sagamore Hill, which is in the state of New York. So after his death, Theodore Roosevelt was buried at his home in Sagamore Hill in the state of New York. What other thing do you know about Theodore Roosevelt? He's only one of 4 presidents, what? Only one of 4 presidents. No. Only one of 4 presidents to what? Think about it.
Oh.
Think about it.
Oh, I got it.
Okay, what is it?
Is it for an assassination attempt?
No. Good guessing, good guessing.
Circle back in Boston.
No. One of 4 presidents.
Kill an animal.
No.
Take over after an assassination?
No.
I already said
You're
that.
thinking too hard.
The whole party thing.
One of 4 presidents to be honored by Mount Rushmore. Very good. One of 4 presidents' faces that are shown on Mount Rushmore. Okay, I'm going to finish up with a 7-minute short on Theodore Roosevelt, then we'll be done for the day. I think you'll like this. Kind of give you a little idea about it. One of 4 presidents on Mount Rushmore. Lights, camera, action, door, Manny, please. I don't know. They barely got those done, though.